Good evening, this is Nick Inman from VolumeProfileTrader.com on Tuesday, November 15th, and here we're going to cover the S&P 500. One thing I want to mention first is I switched over to different charts because they're more visible, much easier on the eyes, and these don't have volume profile, but I do have the important levels labeled, and hopefully this works just as well. Just let me know if they don't. So, going into today, I was saying in last night's video I was buying some, and I was buying what seemed like a lot, but in small scales, and we saw the market appreciate today after a move lower early on. So the move today wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Over a % move from peak to trough. So you can't really complain about the move that we had, although I was looking for a little more upside, perhaps a test of the 1268, 1270 level, which is these recent highs, and up to the value area, which is the blue line here. And we didn't get that, and I'm a little concerned because we see a potential, although it's very minor, but basically a potential lower high, and that has me concerned only because we continue to see lower highs and obviously higher lows, but this is eventually going to play out, and if the buyers are having a hard time pushing this market higher, the likelihood of the buyers who have already bought selling increases, and the downside pressure could build momentum in the market and spur a decent sized sell-off. So it's just something to look out for and to be aware of. But know your levels. This 1240, 1235 level is trend line support and also the point of control for this range. So it's a very important level. We didn't quite reach there today prior to reversing. So really another test of those levels isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just I was looking for a move higher and possibly a breakout, which still can come, but there is a decent afternoon sell-off. The volume was fairly decent, and we're going to have to see what happens for the rest of the week. So for now, the bias is to the long side. You can see the moving averages. They're still moving higher, and they're aligned properly. So nothing's wrong. We're just stuck in consolidation, so the opportunity is very low, and the risk reward, it needs to be in your favor to get involved in the market. You don't want to be buying the highs and selling the lows, without looking at what's going on, which is just a tightening of volatility and basically buyers and sellers waiting for a breakout either way. The volume has been very lackluster, which gives credit to what's going on here. So as far as recommendations, I think you can be long the market with a stop under 1235 in the S&P, but just realize that this market can roll over, but it's looking good for buyers. We're just not seeing the buyers come. So it's kind of a sail on your hands and wait approach, unfortunately, but that's how the market is right now. The Nasdaq was the strongest sector today, up over 1%, which was very good. We have the development of this is a little bit different. We have our value area high around just under 2,400, around 2,385 on the Nasdaq 100, and the value area low is 2,300. With a point of control around 2340. So this is just a very constructive balancing range, and we saw nice support off this gap, this gap and hold around 2330, a little higher than those levels. The lows today were 2331.75. So that's really our line in the sand, and we want to see Nasdaq touch basically get close to 2,400, and that will give us a sense that maybe the Nasdaq will leave this market higher. Now the Dow, it's pressing up against the value area high, so this looks good, but we're seeing a flat top occur, and we just don't want to see this thing roll over. If we just connect the lines, we have a nice trend line support. Our point of control range held the last time. It tested that area. So if we get a test again, let's say, for example, tomorrow, 100-point sell-off will get us there. And we're looking for buyers to come in and hopefully breach this 12,200 level, let's call it, and ultimately break out to new highs. So that's what we're looking for short term, but you have to respect the fact that the market's struggling at resistance, and if people have not been taking profits, today may have been their chance into strength. So it's something to look out for if we do start to roll over. Now, if we look at Apple, we're getting a similar development in terms of the market deviating away from support or resistance. And this time, Apple's deviating away from support, support. So what I mean is it's just simply moving away from support, looking to test an even more important level of volume, which is this 396-400 range. It was a pretty big pivot point in the range back in late October, early November. Then we saw our breakdown, some more mild selling, and then yesterday we stopped. This morning a bit higher. I said in last night's video that you should be a buyer of Apple, and it turned out to be the right trade. So now we're looking to see how high Apple can get us, up $9.50 today. We're looking for a price target of $395. If we don't get above basically today's highs, I'll be concerned, and I would say that it's okay to take your profits from yesterday or this morning and just accept the fact that that's all the market's going to give you on Apple. Now we're just going to go through a few sectors. First, the materials, XLB. This is just the materials ETF, and what we're seeing here is we have support way down at basically $32. This was a low back in late October. We had a nice low here, and then at resistance we have $36, and also, which is the value area high for this range, and also this is actually the value area high for the last 3 months, and likewise these lows here are the value area low for the last 3 months. This is also October's point of control, so I will make this thicker only because it matters more. And what we're also seeing is this 3440 level. That's a very important level too. That is the point of control for the last 3 months as well. So we have some important levels that we're looking at on the XLB right here, right now. If this sector starts to roll over, I'm going to be concerned. This has been a nice trade since the lows, and we're, despite the fact that the market is struggling to try and make new highs, the XLB on a relative performance has done very well, and it looks like it can continue to do well, but we need to watch basically this trend line area, the support at 3440. That's very important. We don't want to start seeing the XLB make lower lows and lower highs, which it could be in the process of forming right now. So this 3430 level 3440 is very important on the XLB. The last name I really want to cover is the XLF, and you can see the dynamic is definitely different in the XLF. It's definitely weaker. It's definitely an underperformer. So people who keep saying, buy the financials because they'll do all right, people that are saying that, they're buying underperformance, and what you're looking for is outperformance and an easy way to make money. And I don't think it's with the financials right now. However, just to point out, we are close to support. We're within 5% of support, and that could be good news. One thing to watch for is this, basically where we rejected today, 1310, around there. That could be a point of control shift in the days to come if we stay and trade within those levels. And if that's the case, then I will turn bearish on the financials, and that will set my tone for the market as probably market neutral to market negative, just because the financials could bring down the whole market. So this is an important sector to watch. It will continue to be. Unfortunately, it's just the market and the world we're in right now, and there's nothing that we can do about it except for trade what the market gives us or not trade at all. So it's hard to say what's going to happen. One other, another level to watch is this 1282 level thereabout, which has been swing points for the XLF in the past. So there's a few levels to watch, but the most important being down by 1250 for now. I'll keep you updated on the 1310 level if we get a point of control shift. I feel like it will change the market and we'll get some move to the downside. You can see the moving averages. They're not aligned like they were back here where we had blue, red, green. Now we're getting a rollover on pretty much all of them, and we're just waiting to see if more downside in XLF, it will eventually bring these moving averages crossing all down and basically pushing the momentum lower, which should be an opportunity to make some money on the downside in financials. So anyways, this is Nick Inman from VolumeProfileTrader.com. If this chart setup helped more, please let me know. If you like the other chart format, that's fine too. Let me know. I will try to fix the problem we were having. It was a blurry picture, even in high definition. It wasn't great, and that's I want people to enjoy watching these, and that includes having a nice visual. So anyways, I hope this helps. Tomorrow it's going to be an important day. I feel really the rest of the week will be important. So watch these levels closely and look for trading opportunities as they come. If they aren't there, then just continue to sit on your hands. So good night.